Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America reaffirmed its commitment to sovereignty and regional integration during the 25th Summit of Heads of State and Government that was celebrated on Sunday. The health crisis in Ecuador's prison system intensified after at least 6 inmates died from tuberculosis in the Littoral Penitentiary in Guayaquil. And the Yemeni Foreign Ministry denounced new violations by the Israeli occupation in the Gaza Strip and the occupied West Bank. Hello and welcome to From the South. My name is Belén de los Santos. I'm from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. We begin with the information. The Bolivarian Alliance for the People of America reaffirmed its commitment to sovereignty and also regional integration. During the 25th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the bloc, the member country celebrated 21 years since its founding with a call for unity in the face of new hegemonic pretensions. Let's see.
From
the Caribbean, leaders also sent a message of peace and solidarity. Dominica expressed its support for the people of Venezuela and rejected the promotion of military conflicts against the region. Along the same lines, St. Lucia insisted on the need to maintain the region as a zone of peace, while Antigua and Barbuda emphasized the urgency of collective action and demanded climate justice for the most vulnerable nations.
History has taught us that war solves nothing. What it does is to bring more chaos and destruction in the long term for peoples. Therefore, I hope that we remember that history and that we stop promoting war once and for all. Thank you very much, President, for your invitation. I hope to see you soon in Caracas, but you should know that you have friends and that your friends will stand in solidarity with you and with the people of Venezuela, with the free and dignified people of Venezuela. We continue to call for our region to remain a zone of peace, and we stand in solidarity with all nations and peoples who wish to improve their lives and the quality of their life in the region. We strongly condemn human trafficking, drug trafficking, and illegal weapons and ammunition. We are facing a major crisis today, which is the climate crisis. In all countries, this is not a distant danger, but a very close catastrophe. ALBA and its solidarity are essential for collective action. We must strengthen cooperation in climate adaptation, resilience, energy sovereignty, and advocate for justice.
In addition, the defense of principles, according to the Foreign Minister of Grenada, Joseph Andal, is crucial in the face of threats that repeat historical patterns. He urged that the pretexts used to justify interference in Latin America and the Caribbean be denounced, while from St. Vincent and the Grenadines it was recalled that the fundamental principles of the bloc are the guide for current diplomatic action.
What we are seeing is a repetition of ancient history, and this points to the need for us to be vigilant and to always persevere in solidarity with one another. We must be able to see and discern the pretexts that have been used to recolonize Latin America and the Caribbean.
Las bases del ALBA nos ayudan a cementar
The foundations of ALBA help us to build on the cooperation and unity that guides us today. So it is up to us to continue defending and promoting all the ideals, the purposes and principles of solidarity, complementarity, cooperation, respect for sovereignty, independence, politics, territorial integrity, non-intervention in internal affairs, states, and commitment to to democracy and human rights.
The final declaration of the summit reaffirmed the unity of the bloc as a mechanism for defending sovereignty. In addition, the creation of the International Energy and Electricity Mission was approved with the intention of supporting Cuba in the total restoration of electricity in the country. In this way, the member countries committed to demanding resolutions to global crises that impact the region.
And precisely in this context, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez thanked on Sunday the approved regional bloc initiative that seeks to bolster the Caribbean islands' national power system. Through a post on his social media X, the top diplomat shared that they welcomed the decision of the 25th ALBA-TCP summit on the initiative of President Nicolás Maduro to create a special international energy and electricity mission in support of the people of Cuba. This is yet another showcase of the essence of the alliance as a mechanism that places solidarity and cooperation among brotherly peoples at the center of its work. In other news, Venezuela's state oil company PDVSA denounced a new cyber attack against its systems, assuring that its core operations remained unaffected. In an official statement, the company guaranteed its operational continuity, highlighting that thanks to the expertise of PDVSA's human talent, the operational areas were not affected in any way, with the attack being limited to its administrative system. PDVSA attributed the aggression to foreign interests, framing it as a part of a strategy to undermine the nation's sovereign energy development, describing the incident as part of the U.S. government's public strategy to seize Venezuelan oil by force and piracy. In this context, the company recognized its workforce, whose expertise, it said, was crucial in detecting and neutralizing the threat. And now we have a short break coming up, but first, remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. We continue with more information. The health crisis in Ecuador's prison system intensifies after at least 6 inmates have died from tuberculosis in the Litoral Penitentiary in Guayaquil, the country's largest prison. According to reports from the National Police, the deceased were between 22 and 45 years old, and their bodies showed no signs of violence, pointing to health complications as the cause of death. These new deaths add to a series of them that were attributed to a presumed tuberculosis epidemic within the prison. Nationwide, 1,131 cases of tuberculosis have been reported in the prison system, of which more than 500 are in the Litoral prison alone, confirming the focus of the epidemic in this prison. In Guatemala, President Bernardo Arévalo declared a state of emergency in 2 municipalities in the west of the country following armed attacks on a military post and a police station. Accompanied by the Minister of the Interior and the Chief of Staff, President Arévalo explained that this state of emergency will last for 15 days and will take place in the municipalities of Nahualá and Santa Catarina Ixtahuacán. The Minister of the Interior, Marco Villeda, reported that at least 5 people had lost their lives in these attacks. It is believed that the incidents were perpetrated by criminal groups linked to extortions and drug trafficking.
Today, in the Council of Ministers, we have decided to implement extraordinary measures to address this critical situation. We have issued Government Decree 1/2025 to declare a state of prevention in the municipalities of Nahualá and Santa Catarina Ixtahuacán in the Department of.
And in Honduras, tension rises over the electoral process after the senior advisor for the National Electoral Council, Marlon Ochoa, denounced that the institution refused to conduct a full recount of the presidential votes amid allegations of irregularities. In this regard, Marlon Ochoa warned that the CNE rejected his proposal for a full vote-by-vote recount and will only review 5.6% of the presidential tallies, despite inconsistencies having been documented in more than 17,000 ballots. Ochoa also argued that this decision compromises electoral transparency and could legitimize a result tainted by errors and manipulation. In the scenario of irregularities, the CNE advisor demands a thorough review of all records to restore confidence in the country's democratic institutions. And another of the main topics in Latin America this week in Chile, Pinochetist candidate José Antonio Cast has won the presidency with a platform marked by anti-migrant rhetoric and harsh punitive policies on security. Boric's progressivism lost to lawyer and former Congressman José Antonio Cast, elected president of Chile after winning the runoff and receiving a public concession from progressive rival Janet Jara. Cast, known for his xenophobic discourse against migrants and his tough-on-crime agenda, promised longer sentences, more prisons, and broader powers to security forces, arriving in power with a mandate that he is presenting as a restoration of order in the country. Jara, who campaigned on social rights and labor protections, recognized the result but warned that democratic and human rights gains could be at risk under a government that links insecurity to migration and prioritizes punitive measures over social policies. Cast's term in office at La Moneda is seen as a return to Pinochetism. Also in Santiago de Chile, a group of protesters rejected the election of José Antonio Cast and were repressed by the police, marking the first direct confrontation against the elected president of the nation. In an environment of growing political tension, protesters gathered at the emblematic Plaza Baquedano, where they were repressed by officers of the Chilean National Police using water cannon vehicles. Dozens of detractors of the far-right candidate expressed their rejection of the results announced by the Electoral Service of Chile, in which Cast emerged victorious with 58.18% support against the progressist candidate Janet Jara, who obtained 41.82% of the votes. We now move on to other topics. India reported traffic accidents, air service disruptions, and an increase in respiratory illnesses due to a thick layer of fog covering the north of the country. The Central Pollution Control Board reported that in the capital city of New Delhi, air quality remained at a severe level with low visibility, resulting in at least 40 vehicles being involved in multiple collisions. In this regard, airport authorities urged passengers to check the status of their flights due to possible cancellations caused by weather conditions as well. Authorities also recommended that sports teams suspend their outdoor activities to protect civilians. And in Morocco, the death toll rose to over 30 after heavy and unexpected rainfall caused flash flooding in the coastal town of Safi. According to local authorities, the flooding was caused by exceptional torrential rainfall over a short period of time, leaving at least 37 people dead, 32 injured, and affecting a total of 70 homes and commercial establishments. In this scenario, authorities emphasized that a strong mobilization continues for search operations of possible missing people, ensuring security in the affected areas. Meanwhile, the General Directorate of Meteorology issued several orange-level alerts for snowfall and heavy rains accompanied by thunderstorms in several provinces of the country until Wednesday. And on Sunday in Nigeria, West African leaders gathered for the 68th summit of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to deliberate on the future of regional integration, peace and stability for this bloc. During the meeting, officials warned about the growing resurgence of what they called unconstitutional changes of government as a threat to the regional stability of the African bloc. The debate also included the impact of climate change on food security and the need for coordinated responses to floods and droughts in the region. In this scenario, leaders also reviewed progress on economic integration, including the ECOWAS trade liberalization plan, energy cooperation, and infrastructure development. We have a second short break coming up now, but before we invite you to visit our Facebook page, as always, at teleSUR English. There you can watch our top stories, special live coverages, and much more. Follow the page and activate notifications to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back. We continue the information with Palestine as medical authorities report 5 people that have been killed by Israeli aggressions over the past 24 hours in the Gaza Strip, despite the ceasefire agreement currently in place. The Palestinian Ministry of Health in the Gaza Strip reported on Sunday that hospitals across the enclave also received 4 bodies recovered from beneath the rubble and treated 45 people wounded as well. With this, the total number of martyrs recorded since the ceasefire came into effect is 391, with over 1,000 injured and over 600 bodies retrieved as well. These figures come amid warnings from international organizations over the deteriorating humanitarian situation in Gaza, with the World Health Organization declaring that Gaza's healthcare system is nearing total collapse, with only 18 of the Strip's 36 hospitals partially operational and just 43% of primary healthcare centers functioning. And in Yemen, the Foreign Ministry denounced new violations by the Israeli occupation in the Gaza Strip and the occupied West Bank. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the government of Sana'a, recent violations of the ceasefire in the Palestinian enclave were highlighted, including the assassination of the leader of the Al-Qassam Brigades, Raed Said Saad. The Yemeni Foreign Ministry also warned that the Zionist entity has not complied with the entry of humanitarian aid or ended its aggressions and blockade imposed on the Palestinian people. In this regard, the Yemeni government called on the international community to urge the occupying forces to comply with the ceasefire deal and move forward with the second part of this agreement. We go now to Australia, where on Sunday a mass shooting at a Jewish Hanukkah celebration left 16 people dead in Sydney after men armed with rifles opened fire. According to the local authorities, 2 men, father and son, attacked a busy area on Bondi Beach armed with rifles and killed 16 people, including a 10-year-old girl. At least 42 people were transferred to different hospitals in Sydney after the attack, counting among the injured 2 police officers. A spokesperson for the New South Wales Ambulance Service indicated that he had treated several people at the scene of the incident. According to local media, one of the shooters was shot dead by police while the other was arrested. In this context, on Monday, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese proposed tougher restrictions on national gun laws. Albanese announced that the proposed restrictions would include limiting the number of guns a licensed owner can obtain after Australian authorities revealed that one of the shooters had amassed his 6 guns legally. Sunday's massacre on Sydney's Bondi Beach that targeted a Hanukkah celebration was the deadliest shooting in almost 3 decades in the country. And we go now to Germany as the Berlin police arrested 18 people who were participating in an anti-police protest, which ended in clashes with the officers. Hundreds took to the streets of the capital on Saturday after the city's parliament passed a security law expanding surveillance powers. The new bill grants the authority increased powers for physical and digital surveillance, including covert entry into homes to install spyware when remote access is unavailable. The incidents and the first confrontations with the police began shortly after the start of the demonstration. After the rally was dispersed and the 18 participants were arrested, the police maintained a strong presence to prevent the formation of new crowds. Anti-police demonstrations are held every year on December 13th in Berlin. In other news, on Monday in France, workers at the Louvre Museum in Paris voted unanimously to continue their strike over working conditions and facility maintenance, forcing the museum to close its doors. Union leaders indicated that the 400 employees who attended the General Assembly held in the morning at the museum's facilities voted in favor of the strike, representing a historic figure. The Louvre's director, Laurence Decars, is in the spotlight, accused of prioritizing celebrations instead of tackling the renovation of the museum. In the scenario, the workers stated that despite the Minister of Culture recently meeting with the unions, the conditions to improve the situation are not in place, so the strike will continue.
We want to tell the world that we disagree with the way the Louvre has been managed. We disagree with the budget allocations. We disagree with priorities that do not take into account our core mission. We have inherited a universal heritage. We are here to pass it on to future generations, and we believe that the current conditions do not allow us to be certain of this.
There are two very important issues that keep coming up and that led all the staff present to vote in favor of one-day strike. These were working conditions and visiting conditions. I know that some visitors are wondering why we are taking this action. It is also for them, so that they can enjoy better visiting conditions.
And in Hungary, one of Budapest's most famous Christmas markets was bustling with visitors on Sunday. This year marks the 15th anniversary of the Advent Basilica Market, one of the most popular Christmas markets in Europe. While similar events in the Hungarian capital tend to be more popular with locals, the organizers of this fair hope that tourists and locals alike will take part in these festivities. This year, a 39-foot-tall Christmas tree has been erected among the stalls on St. Stephen's Square. The Advent Basilica Market opened on November 14th, marking the start of one of the city's busiest events, with countless craft vendors, food and drinks as well.
It is very nice. It has a lot of things I don't know, and I really like it. It's different from ours. The market in Frankfurt is larger, but this one is different and it's very beautiful. I like it.
We have quite a few different cities that have Christmas markets, but this one, it's selling obviously different stuff to what we can get at home. So yeah, very expensive, mind you.
And with this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok as well. For TeleSUR English, my name is Belén de los Santos. Thank you for watching.